It worked.
It worked. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I was the run of the litter. No, I really was. I was a little guy, and I was a relatively good athlete even when I was a kid, but I literally was the runt of the litter.
Well, for me, it was my weight. I was overweight growing up, and it was the color of my skin. I grew up in an area where I wasn't surrounded by a lot of Indian people. And so those were the two reasons, except my mother didn't give me that advice. Sometimes I wish she did. My mother did the opposite. She actually came into my school and spoke to the teachers, which was really embarrassing at that age and, not helpful for my...
No, I think maybe it is. I had a similar thing. I went to Catholic grade school in high school. And in those days, you sat in alphabetical order. I was in the first row, Biden, 4 people down. And reading class, everybody read a paragraph. I got to my paragraph, and I remember what it was, because I used to try to memorize it rather than have to look at the word when I was rereading it. And it said, and he was a gentle man. And the teacher said, "What's that, Mr. Biden?" She wanted to say gentleman, but it was easier to not let her say gentleman. I said, gentleman. I said, "Mr. Biden, what is that?" And I got up and walked out and walked home, which was about 2 miles. And my mother was sitting there tapping the table when I walked in. She said, "Get in the car." Went down in the car. We walked in, went to the principal's office, sat me outside the door. The door was cracked. It was one of those opaque glass windows, and it didn't go to the ceiling. Anyway, to make a long story short, she said, "I'd like to speak to the teacher," my mother said. And she said, "Mr. Biden," I said, "I'd like to speak to the teacher." So the teacher walks in, looked at me like, "You're in trouble now, Biden." Walked in, sat down. There was a crack in the door. I'll never forget this. And my mother, Catherine Eugenia Finnegan Biden, and she looked, and I could say, "What did you say to my son?" She said, "Did you say Biden?" So I was just trying to make a point, Mrs. Biden. She said, "If you ever do that again, I'll come back and rip that bonnet off your head. Do you understand me?" Swear to God.
Wow.
Get up, walked out, go back to class, Joey. But, it's everybody has something that is tough, particularly when you're younger. Mm. And it makes such a difference when somebody reaches out.